LuoFeng's heart tightened as he allowed Tarasha to stroke his pigtail. Beside him, Wu said, I also feel that Bei Fa is bored today. Is there something bothering you? Tarasha continued to stroke LuoFeng's pigtail. I'm not in a good mood. I just don't feel like talking. LuoFeng said gloomily. Tarasha looked at LuoFeng warmly. Looks like our Bei Fa has something bothering him. Think about it. If you can't figure it out, tell teacher Tarasha. She will tell you. Okay. LuoFeng nodded. He could feel the deep feelings Tarasha and Wu had for this Bei Fa, of familial love. It was an incomparably deep sense of familial love. The information is indeed true. Even though the special life, known Ko, are fierce towards other invading races, they treat each other like family. Whoever kills one of them will be hunted by all the other known Ko. LuoFeng thought to himself. The two of you can play here. Tarasha smiled. If there's anything, come find me in the training hall. All right, teacher Tarasha. Wu said. Understood, teacher Tarasha. LuoFeng said. Tarasha smiled and turned around to leave. Only then did LuoFeng let out a sigh of relief. In the video, Tarasha was cold and filled with killing intent when she killed the devil monkeys. Now she was like a loving mother. What LuoFeng didn't know was that the evolution of the universe and the special life forms known Ko weren't born at the same time. Some were born early, some later. 300 million years ago, a new known Ko was born. Tarasha was born out of the thousands of known Ko. She was born a trillion years earlier than Bei Fa and Wu. Her strength was ranked in the top 10 among the thousands of known Ko. She took on the responsibility of teaching the weaker known Ko. That's why Bei Fa and Wu called her Teacher Tarasha. LuoFeng looked at the ice sculptures in front of him. There were devil monkeys, warriors from the Thunder Fountain clan, and even a human warrior. However, they were all frozen. Their souls had long been frozen. What an interesting devil monkey. Wu carefully observed the devil monkey for a while. This is the first time I've seen it in the real world. I've always seen it in the virtual world. Virtual world? LuoFeng's heart moved. Virtual technology was considered a very common technology in the universe. It could be used to build a small virtual world. For example, back then, Earth had obtained a personal optical computer from an ancient spaceship wreckage and built the virtual world of the War God Temple. Small-scale virtual worlds had always been a very common technology. What was difficult was to create a large-scale virtual world. A virtual world that covered an entire galaxy. A virtual world that covered an entire star field or a star zone, or even a human territory or even the entire virtual universe. The larger the scope, the higher the difficulty. It was indeed easy for the bandit pirates to build a virtual world that covered the entire ice prison star belt. Just the AI quantum computers they acquired from the invading alien warriors were enough to easily accomplish it. LuoFeng understood. Bei Fa, let's go to the Hall of Secrets, Wu said. The secret method created by teacher Tarasha is very complicated. I won't be going. LuoFeng said, I want to walk alone. Oh. Yu nodded. That's right. The secret method created by teacher Tarasha is suitable for us, but not for you. LuoFeng froze for a moment before understanding that Yu was referring to the difference between the green bandit and the purple bandit. Then I'll be going. Yu happily scurried away and disappeared. My luck sure is good. LuoFeng let out a sigh of relief. I was still thinking of a way to move alone. I didn't expect to find an opportunity so easily. Let's go to the place where the black metal board is stored. LuoFeng scurried away and began flying around the palace. In the deepest part of the palace, within the training hall, Tarasha sat crossed-legged on the ice floor. A formless godly energy swept through the entire palace. She revealed a smile. Yu has gone to the Hall of Secrets, Bei Fa has gone to the Hall of 10,000. Yu is really something. She knew Bei Fa was in a bad mood, yet she didn't accompany him and went to the Hall of Secrets instead. Bei Fa doesn't train in my path, that's good too. The Hall of 10,000 has all sorts of strange items collected from the alien races. It can also distract Bei Fa. After which, Tarasha closed her eyes and connected her consciousness to the virtual world to communicate with the other clansmen. To the special life form Yako. Over the long years, there were many alien undyings who came to the Ice Hell Star Belt with wishful thinking. Even though 99% of them were captured, there were still a few lucky ones who managed to steal treasures. This made it so that there would always be alien undyings who would come and try their luck. After they were killed, many of the treasures they carried with them were useless to the Yako. They were usually thrown away as decorations or playthings. Tarasha had placed many of her playthings in a hall and named it the Hall of 10,000. The black metal board was within the Hall of 10,000. Within the Hall of 10,000. LuoFeng casually walked around and arrived at the Hall of 10,000. As the entire palace had already been accurately scanned by the Devil Conch Monkey's large-scale scanning device, he already had an accurate picture of the structure of the palace. Right now it's all up to luck. LuoFeng stepped into the myriad hall and stepped on the ice-cold ground. His gaze landed on the various items that were randomly piled on the ground. There were some weapons, some armors, some special materials, etc. They were all randomly placed on the ground. These items were not worth much, at least LuoFeng did not take them seriously. Black metal board. LuoFeng fiercely waved his hand and threw the items to the side. He looked at the buried black metal board. The third black metal board. LuoFeng knew with a touch that it was the one he was looking for. Right now it's all up to luck. Once I get the black metal board, I'll leave immediately. LuoFeng thought, From the time I leave the palace to the time I leave the Hall of 10,000, it'll take a while. In this short period of time, if Tarasha finds out that something's wrong, then I'll be in big trouble. However, she shouldn't have too much of a guard against her people. I have a chance of escaping. And from the looks of it, the black metal board was just randomly placed here, she obviously didn't care about it. LuoFeng didn't hesitate anymore. After taking the black metal board and keeping it in his world ring, he immediately headed out. So, LuoFeng darted around the palace, his speed wasn't considered slow or fast. The moment he flew out of the inner palace, a voice resounded in his ears. Beife, you're going back? You're not waiting for Yawu? I'm not waiting anymore, I want to go back. Even though LuoFeng was shocked, he still said, I'll come back to teacher Tarasha's place next time. Go on. Tarasha intimately instructed him. LuoFeng couldn't care less about anything else. Very quickly, he flew out of the palace and followed the pathway out of the ice prison planet. Even though he had the ability to teleport, LuoFeng didn't dare to use it, because the moment he did, he would definitely be discovered. This was clearly stated in the Virtual Universe Company's information. Even though he was extremely anxious, LuoFeng resisted the urge to fly out. Within the virtual world built in the ice prison planet belt. In a plaza, Tarasha was sitting with 3 other bandit clansmen, drinking some fruit wine. Simultaneously she shook her head. This child Bayef, I don't know what's up with him. When he went to my place earlier he felt bored and it felt a little different. I don't know why. Maybe his confession was rejected. One of the bandit laughed. Thousands of bandit clansmen, even though they couldn't reproduce, the green bandit clansmen would usually pursue the purple bandit clansmen and live together. As there were many green bandit clansmen and few purple ones, along with the fact that many of the purple bandit clansmen preferred to live alone, it was common for them to be rejected. Tarasha, you said when Bayfa went to your place he felt bored? I just saw Bayfa Boya, and the others laughing as they went to battle games together. Laughing loudly? Tarasha's expression changed. The bandit clansmen were pure in nature, they wouldn't hide it. One of them was bored earlier, and now he was laughing happily with the other clansmen as they went to battle games? Within the training palace, Tarasha, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened her eyes, her expression changed. A formless god energy swiftly spread outwards, sweeping towards demon killer LuoFeng, who had just flown out of the pathway. The formless spirit energy permeated his body, easily discovering the life crystal within the fake Bayfa's body. It's not Bayfa. It's a different race. Tarasha's eyes suddenly emitted a terrifying killing intent. Shwa. Tarasha, who was originally within the palace, immediately teleported and vanished. The next time she appeared, she was before LuoFeng. Teleportation was a taboo in the ice prison star belt. Even though the powerful warriors of this group of unique life forms, like Tarasha, and many of them knew how to teleport, they normally didn't use it. They all relied on universe travel to reach their companions because, when the other races came to steal treasures, the fastest method was to teleport. As long as the bandit clansmen didn't use teleportation, the moment they discovered the ripples of teleportation, there would definitely be other races coming. Other than that, when they discovered other races chasing after them, they could naturally use teleportation too. Anyway, the moment they discovered the ripples of teleportation, it meant that there were other races invading or something major had happened. Different races. Have they come? Within the ice prison star belt, within the many ice prison planets, tens of powerful undying bandit clansmen simultaneously felt the ripples. And in the ice hell star belt, the 2 largest ice hell stars, one had a diameter of 103,000 kilometers, the other had a diameter of 96,000 kilometers. These 2 ice hell stars were the residences of the 2 terrifying Universe Knights. The special life forms Universe Knights were incomparably powerful from birth. Different races? The 2 Universe Venerables also discovered it. As long as I fly out of the ice prison planet and accelerate to light speed, I'll be able to escape without anyone noticing. LuoFeng was rushing out of the ice prison planet's pathway, continuing to fly high up in the air. There was a strong energy flow near the surface, similar to Earth's atmosphere. Even though it wasn't as thick, there was still resistance. He had to fly out to accelerate to light speed. Rumble. A strong energy suddenly appeared above LuoFeng. It was the purple silhouette. Tarasha's killing intent filled the skies. Staring at LuoFeng, her cold voice resounded throughout the land and skies. Different races. LuoFeng, who was flying up, saw the purple silhouette. His expression changed greatly. Monday, please get some recommendation votes. With the recommendation votes, we'll rush to the top of the recommendation board. Tarasha was filled with rage within. She didn't expect a foreign being to actually impersonate her clansman. She had even touched the fake Bayfa's braid before. This made her even more furious, unforgivable. Rumble. Tarasha immediately teleported above LuoFeng. Looking coldly at the fake Bayfa, she didn't waste any time and immediately pointed at demon killer LuoFeng. A purple light immediately shot towards him. The moment demon killer LuoFeng saw Tarasha appear, he knew something wasn't right. Damn it, I've been discovered. I'll execute plan 3. LuoFeng immediately used teleportation at the same time. However, that purple light was indeed extremely fast. It immediately shot into his body and a heart-trembling coldness swept through his body. Almost as though his consciousness and willpower were frozen. Unfortunately, this attack that had immense power against the soul met with the Mosha clansman that was completely immune to soul attacks. So, Luo Feng vanished. What? Tarasha couldn't believe it. Her full-strength attack to freeze the enemy's soul actually allowed him to escape. Tarasha closed her eyes and felt in all directions. Her consciousness and space laws rippled together and she tried hard to sense. However, obviously LuoFeng's teleportation distance was simply too far, beyond her sensing range. Tarasha, don't make such a mistake again. Leave it to me. A powerful voice resounded in Tarasha's mind. Leader, he stole a black metal board. I know, leave everything to me. Yes, leader. Tarasha nodded. However, she was still unwilling. She didn't think that sly bastard would be able to escape. When she used teleportation, the two most terrifying universe supremacies in the entire Ice Hellstar belt would pay attention to this place. Even if she was caught off guard and allowed the alien to teleport away, the two universe supremacies could easily chase and kill him. So, in the space above the Star River, demon killer Luo Feng suddenly appeared and vanished again. In the air above a huge continent, demon killer Luo Feng suddenly appeared and vanished again. Madly teleporting, every time he teleported over 1 light year away. Luo Feng didn't care about the danger, he just used his fastest speed to escape. In the sky above a piece of land, a green figure exuding boundless pressure stood in the void. There was a hint of a smile in his eyes. This little fellow from the foreign race is really fast at escaping. However, just knowing how to teleport and mastering the entire law of space are on completely different levels. How can you possibly escape from me? The cyan figure spread out in all directions and sensed the fluctuations everywhere. He easily sensed the fluctuations of teleportation in one direction. Right there. The green figure flashed and chased after him as if he was toying with his prey. Usually, after comprehending teleportation, regardless of whether one was a realm lord or a conferred monarch, the distance they could teleport was about the same. Teleportation depended on one's comprehension of the law of space. In an instant, his body fused with the spatial fluctuations, and he was directly transmitted to the coordinates of a certain spatial fluctuation that he could sense in the distance. After comprehending teleportation, one would be able to sense more than 1 light year in a certain direction. However, if he were to sense in all directions at the same time, it would be much more strenuous. The sensing distance would only be about 1% of what it would be if he were to sense in a single direction. Hence the moment Luo Feng fled, that Tarasha couldn't even sense where Luo Feng had teleported to. But the two universe supremacies were different. After comprehending the complete law of space, the distance the universe lords could teleport was much more exaggerated. Universe lords could directly teleport over 1,000 light years in one go. Even if they were to sense in all directions, they could still cover a radius of over 10 light years. Luckily Luo Feng was constantly teleporting and his position was constantly changing. That universe lord would have to spend some effort to catch him. Oh. Demon killer Luo Feng appeared in mid-air on a continuous mountain range, his hands and feet on the ground. He vanished again. Following almost at the same time, the green silhouette appeared in the air above the mountain range and vanished again. One chasing and one fleeing. This punk really doesn't stop. The green silhouette chased for tens of seconds before getting impatient. Because he had to teleport tens of times every second. If this universe lord wanted to easily catch him, it would be difficult. Because he had to confirm where Luo Feng was before he teleported. Just the process of confirming and teleporting allowed Luo Feng to escape again. I have to spend some energy. The green silhouette stood in mid-air. Around him were many little black mountains. Tens of thousands of them floated with shipwreckages. This was one of the dangerous areas of the Wuhua secret region. Of course, to the universe lord, he didn't care about this. He immediately unleashed his technique. Rumble. A glaring green light emanated from the green silhouette. In an instant, the green silhouette seemed to become a star, emitting endless green light in all directions. Using such a strong amount of energy just to disrupt the space ripples. With the universe lord's strength, since he had complete control of the space laws, he could easily seal and destroy the space ripples. Just affecting the space ripples was simple. However, normally there was a limit to it. At this time, this universe lord burned some of his god energy, immediately his strength reached an unbelievable level. Wong. Just like plucking the strings of a zither, it easily reached the end. This universe lord immediately unleashed his full strength. The space ripples were immediately disrupted and immediately spread over 10 light years. A light year was simply an extremely large area. Normal battles between universe lords couldn't even affect 1 light year. Even for something as simple as disrupting the space ripples, he still had to burn some undying god energy to be able to exceed 10 light years. Mist pervaded the space. Demon killer Luo Feng was about to teleport when he shook his head and sighed. He could clearly feel the space ripples becoming chaotic. Many areas were broken. Even though they would quickly recover at least for now, he couldn't teleport anymore. A strong pressure emanated and enveloped the surrounding space. Simultaneously, the surrounding space was naturally sealed. That terrifying seal caused Luo Feng to be unable to move at all. It was almost as though he was trapped. Knight. Demon killer Luo Feng shouted. Change back to your original form. I don't like killing my clansmen. A powerful voice resounded. The green silhouette appeared before Luo Feng. His height was about the same as the other bandit. However, his pressure was much stronger. Standing there, he represented the will of space. The pressure. Luo Feng was shocked within. Since you want to kill me, what right do you have to order me around? Luo Feng looked at the universe lord before him. Green furry bandit looked at Luo Feng. You sure are daring. Just because you are from the Mosha clan, you aren't afraid of my soul control. Yes. LuoFeng nodded. The Mosha clan didn't have a soul. Naturally they couldn't be controlled. This was the difference in life forms. LuoFeng had done his research long ago. He was very clear on this. Speak, Mosha genius. Green furry bandit looked at LuoFeng. A sector lord like you can actually teleport? Even if you're from the Mosha clan, you're still an absolute genius. You actually came here. And what I'm curious about is, from your constant teleportation, you obviously know that you can't escape from me. Then why are you still doing useless things? Teleporting again and again, forcing me to burn 0.1% of my god body. You should know, you're doing this to anger me. Knowing you can't escape, angering a universe lord is not a wise decision. Yes. Demon killer LuoFeng smiled. Kill me and you'll know the reason. Don't tell me you? Green furry bandit's eyes emitted killing intent. Simultaneously, he revealed a look of rage. He fiercely waved his hand. Rumble, a formless palm slapped onto demon killer LuoFeng's body. In an instant he was completely destroyed. Even his normal world ring and sensors were destroyed. Countless materials were destroyed. No. That black metal board, it's gone. Green furry bandit looked carefully. He had smashed that foreign being into pieces. All the normal items were destroyed but he didn't find anything else. Green furry bandit's expression changed. The entire ice hellstar belt. The other bandit didn't know the importance of the black metal board. However, he and purple furry bandit, these two universe lords knew. We've been tricked. Venerable Qing Fu Ko snorted angrily. He must have dropped the black metal plate during one of his teleportations. In another part of the Wuhua secret area, a few thousand light years away from the ice hellstar belt, a life ship floated there. Within the ship, LuoFeng stood in the control room. In his hand was a rock. He smiled, I've got it. To get the 9-level secret manual, LuoFeng had formulated many plans. Just the Mosha clansman's movements alone had 6 plans. It was enough to deal with all sorts of situations. The third plan actually calculated that the universe lords wouldn't easily burn their god energy. The third plan, when the Mosha clansman is discovered, he would immediately teleport and steal the metal board, then immediately teleport away. And then he would teleport again and again. The process had to be fast. Fast. There couldn't be any hesitation. Teleporting again and again, even when the universe lords were chasing, they wouldn't bear to burn their god energy. Only when they were tired of chasing would they burn their god energy to capture Mosha LuoFeng. However, in truth, in that floating mountain range, LuoFeng had already arranged for a slave to hide in his world ring within the mountain range. When the Mosha clansman teleported there, his hands and legs pressed against the mountain range, he placed a world ring disguised as a rock there and immediately teleported away. Green furry bandit continued to chase. What he didn't know was that the black metal board was being carried by LuoFeng's slave through universe travel. 10 seconds into the dark universe before returning to the Wuhua secret area. At that time, who knew how far away he was? I've got it, it's time to return. I've lost an official level demon conch monkey and the Mosha clansman in this mission. However, with some energy I can produce another one. LuoFeng held the rock in his hand and smiled. Suddenly a cold energy emanated from behind him. LuoFeng's expression changed and he turned fiercely. Behind him stood a beautiful woman dressed in a purple robe. Her naked body could be seen, however LuoFeng's heart skipped a beat. He knew who this was. It was the other knight of the 2 universes in the ice hellstar belt. Zi Xue Knight. LuoFeng hated within, he was still one step behind, now he was in trouble. LuoFeng slightly bowed to show respect. Greetings Zi Xue Knight. Little punk, you're really powerful. Zi Xue Knight looked at LuoFeng, smiling and yet not. You actually managed to play a Universe Knight like a fool, making him come all the way here for nothing. No matter how powerful you are, you still couldn't escape Zi Xue Knight's pursuit. LuoFeng shook his head, after which he looked curiously at Zi Xue Knight. I wonder if Zi Xue Knight can answer my questions. Even Qing Xue Knight was lured away by me. I wonder how you managed to find me here? Zi Xue Knight looked with interest at LuoFeng. She didn't expect the mastermind behind the theft of the useless black metal board to actually speak so casually in front of her, almost as though he was talking to an elder. Was this punk not worried at all? Not worried that she would kill him? Not worried that her soul would enslave him? Zi Xue Knight. LuoFeng was getting goosebumps from being stared at. You're not afraid I'll kill you or enslave you? Zi Xue Knight asked. I've already fallen to such a state I can't even resist. What's the point of being afraid? LuoFeng said. Interesting. Zi Xue laughed. Little brat, you sent your Mosha subordinates to steal, but it was only a useless metal plate made of a special material. Even though it's special, it's completely useless. Tarasha has the Ice Prison Star Stone. Instead of stealing the Ice Prison Star Stone, he actually stole the useless black metal board. Interesting. The main thing is that my subordinate is useless, his vision is too narrow, his knowledge of the treasures of the universe is too little. Seeing the black metal board and realizing it's special, he decided it was a treasure, hence he stole it. LuoFeng shook his head. Maybe he knew too. The Ice Prison Star Stone would be even more tightly guarded, hence he didn't have the confidence to steal it. He's very smart. If he stole Tarasha's Ice Prison Star Stone, then Tarasha would immediately suspect he's a fake Biva. Zi Xue Knight nodded. This black metal board was something I obtained back then, however after some research no one was able to discover its use. hence I treated it as a plaything amongst my clansmen. Finally it landed with Tarasha and was left there casually. LuoFeng was stunned. Plaything? Indeed, this black metal plate contained the 9 Tribulations mystic tome. It was restricted by the laws of the universe and could only be used by one person. For others, they couldn't obtain the 9 Tribulations mystic tome, nor could they use it for others. The 2 venerable ones probably did not recognize the uniqueness of the black metal board's material, so they naturally treated it as a toy. I wonder if Venerable Zi Xue will let me go? I'm willing to atone for what I've done. LuoFeng bowed slightly. It wasn't that he was imagining things, but according to the Virtual Universe Company's information, Zi Haikao and Qing Shenko were both very fond of treasures. There were indeed some other races that were captured and ordered their subordinates to bring treasures to redeem themselves, and they succeeded. Let you go? Zi Xue Knight looked at LuoFeng with interest. That's fine, that black metal board is also a plaything, I'll just sell it to you. However, the price to pay for it isn't small. Please speak, Zi Fika Knight. LuoFeng was delighted within. There were many examples of people being redeemed. He didn't expect himself to be so lucky as to not even get the black metal board back. Looking at your methods and background, you're not ordinary either, the price will naturally be higher. Zi Xue Knight's expression suddenly sunk. Looking at LuoFeng, he said seriously, little punk, you actually forced Qing Shenko Knight to ignite his undying body. Obviously you've angered him, looks like letting you go won't do. LuoFeng's expression changed. He knew that Qing Shenko Knight was infuriated by the Mosha clansman. Follow me. Zi Xue Knight didn't waste any more words with LuoFeng. A formless space ripple engulfed the surroundings. So, he immediately teleported 3 times, every time he teleported over 1,000 light years. When the scenery before LuoFeng finally stabilized, he was already on an incomparably ice-cold planet. LuoFeng looked around. This was a vast and endless ice-cold planet. In the sky he could see other ice-hell planets. This is the ice-hell planet, and it should be an extremely large one. It's where Zi Xue Knight or Qing Shenko Knight lives. LuoFeng thought. Where's the ship? LuoFeng realized he was originally in the ship, but now it was gone. Looks like the life-form ship has been taken away too. Rumble. A strong energy appeared in mid-air, staring down at LuoFeng. It was Qing Shenko Knight. Ha, you've really lost face this time. Zi Xue Knight laughed. Humph, this human. Qing Shenko Knight landed and stared at LuoFeng. You arranged for that Mosha clansman? Where was the main body of the Mosha clan? He actually dared to seek death so easily. It's definitely not his main body. Qing Shenko Knight, that Mosha clansman's main body is my good friend. LuoFeng said respectfully. I've asked his Mosha clansman to help me this time. I already owe him a favor. How can I reveal him? Zi Xue Knight said beside. Fool, just name a special person, for example this friend of yours, he's the disciple of the huge axe creator, the Primal Chaos City Leader's disciple. Anyway, he's the disciple of the absolute beings of your human race. I'll see if he dares to take revenge. Zi Xue Knight laughed. Umph. Qing Shenko Knight stared at LuoFeng. Hateful. Too hateful. Killing you just like that, it's too easy on you. Suddenly, in the distant sky, space rippled and 10 silhouettes appeared from the universe, be it Qing Shenko or Purple Shueko, they were all handsome and bewitching, they all swooped down one after another. And there were more and more, the surrounding space rippled and appeared one by one. This is the one who disguised as me. Bei Fa stared at LuoFeng. The one who disguised as you has already been killed, this is the mastermind. Qing Shenko Knight said solemnly. The leader is so powerful, not only did he kill the disguised foreign race, he even captured the mastermind. Bei Fa said excitedly. The group of sector lords beside looked at LuoFeng excitedly, as though they were looking at a rare treasure. This group of bandit got along well with each other. They didn't treat their leader with the fear that a normal sector lord would have towards a Universe Knight, instead treating him with respect like a grandfather. Leader, you killed that foreign race. He even held hands with me. Yowu seemed a little depressed. That was a foreign race in disguise. Beside, Bei Fa shouted, I'm the real Bei Fa. Got it? Yowu replied. The hundreds of bandit were in an uproar. Tarasha stared at LuoFeng, her eyes filled with killing intent. Obviously she was tricked by the Mosha clansman LuoFeng arranged earlier. This made her very unhappy. Leaders, how do we deal with this foreign race human? Tarasha asked. Immediately Yowu, Bei Fa and the surrounding bandit all looked at the 2 leaders. Qing Shenko Knight looked at Purple Shueko Knight beside. Purple Shueko Knight smiled. You seem very angry, you decide. Umph. Qing Shenko Knight stared at LuoFeng. We have to slowly deal with him. Tarasha, personally escort him, send him to the ice prison. Yes. Wow, ice prison? This foreign race is going to be unlucky. The ice prison is about to open again. The other sector lords all cheered. LuoFeng's expression was ugly, thinking within, ice prison? If it's as I expected, as long as they don't kill me, they'll definitely send me to the ice prison. I still have a chance. There's no need for my teacher, the Primal Chaos City Leader, to come for now. This region, why was it called the Ice Prison Planet Belt? This ice-cold planet, why wasn't it called the Ice Prison Planet or any other name but the Ice Prison Planet? With the word prison in it? This was because the entire planet had a legendary place. That was the Ice Prison. According to the information LuoFeng had, this ice prison was similar to the Seal Planet. It was a special large treasure used to suppress the strong. It directly suppressed the strong within, and this treasure was controlled by one of the 2 Universe Knights. Go. Tarasha and the other absolute warriors of the bandit stared at Luo Feng. Luo Feng didn't resist. He obediently allowed himself to be escorted. What a joke, Tarasha and the other two Undying Bandit were the top 10 of the bandit warriors. Each of their basic body strength was 10 million times that of a sector lord, along with their body amplification, spirit energy amplification etc. These three were all comparable to True Yen Emperor in strength. This was a special life form. Their foundations were much higher than humans, plus these three were the most exceptional of the Undying Bandit. Naturally they were powerful. The reason why the Mosha clansman escaped earlier, one was because soul attacks were useless against the Mosha clansman, and the Mosha clansman's teleportation. Even True Yen Emperor had no way of chasing. Only a universe lord that grasped the entire space laws could chase and kill a teleportation warrior. Within the dark universe, a spaceship was flying slowly and Sky Array King was standing in the control room of the spaceship. In the world ring of heaven Array King. Howl? The golden horned beast's huge body was coiled there, and within the internal world was the Mosha clansman. Oh, black-clothed Luo Feng appeared beside. Master. Fu Shui Emperor and the other warriors bowed respectfully. Luckily I had a trump card. Black-clothed Luo Feng said softly, I knew that the training arranged by the foreign warriors wouldn't be easy, hence my core cannot have any accidents. After all, the moment I fall, even if the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher reverses time and revives me, I'm afraid I won't be able to have the Star Pagoda and other treasures, and I'll lose the 9 Disaster Manual. Many plans had one prerequisite, to ensure the core's safety. When the Mosha clansman moved, the earth body separated from the golden horned beast. The golden horned beast brought the core and sky formation emperor and the others in a universe ship flying in the dark universe. My many plans, no matter how they crumble, at least the core is fine. The earth body has the pearl protecting his soul, he can't be controlled by it. If he were to be attacked, for the sake of the earth body's many treasures, I can only ask the Primal Chaos City Leader for help. Black-clothed Luo Feng thought, there's no need now, it seems those two haven't realized I have the treasures, instead they want to lock me in the ice prison. The two knights obviously didn't know that the one they had captured was only his earth body. Even though the earth body had the Wu slaying wings, star map and pagoda pearls which were extremely important, if they really forced Luo Feng to ask his Primal Chaos City Leader teacher to appear, he could easily take the treasures away. The star map and pearl could barely be considered treasures, even if the Primal Chaos City Leader found them, he wouldn't take them. Hence Luo Feng still had some confidence within, only, asking the Primal Chaos City Leader was a last resort, unless absolutely necessary, Luo Feng wouldn't do that. Purple Haikao Knight's Ice Hell Planet Core, the towering 10,000 kilometers tall ice palace. Green Haikao Knight and Purple Haikao Knight strolled side by side within the palace. Actually, I really want to slap that human to death. Green Haikao Knight said seriously. Are you looking to die? What kind of identity was Mountain Traveler? That was one of the strongest in the vast universe. If we were to offend him, even the warriors we know wouldn't be able to protect us. You're looking to die, don't drag down the thousands of clansmen. Purple Haikao Knight scolded. Green Furry Co laughed. I'm just saying, you see, we're both dignified universe supremacies, and we're even higher ranked amongst the trillions of races in the universe, yet we insist on putting on an act in front of that human. This was Mountain Traveler's orders, of course we have to follow, and he's given us quite a lot of benefits too. Purple Haikao Knight nodded. Back then, Mountain Traveler ordered us to place this black metal board on any ice hell planet, forbidding it from being placed on our planet, to wait for the alien races to steal it. He also said, the moment the thief is discovered to be a flesh and blood life form, they are not to be killed, instead they are to be locked in the ice hell. Green Haikao Knight creased his eyebrows. That Mosha clansman before was an energy life form, I killed it with one slap, however the mastermind was actually this human. Tell me, why did Mountain Traveler order it like that? Green Haikao Knight said. Needless to say, spending so much effort, it should be to train a warrior. Purple Haikao Knight's eyes gleamed. This human should have been chosen by Mountain Traveler. Nurtured disciples? Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head. Is there such a ruthless teacher? That mountain passenger clearly knows the rules of my ice prison, yet he still wants to send the person he's grooming into the ice prison? No matter how powerful his disciple is, that Mountain Traveler should know what kind of experts are imprisoned in my ice prison. Ruthless. Zi Xue said in a low voice, perhaps this is a trial. If he can't pass this trial, then this human will die. In any case, it's the Mountain Traveler's trial that killed him. It has nothing to do with us. Yes. Supremacy Qing Fu Ko nodded immediately. They talked as they walked. But this human is really cunning. Even I was fooled by him. How did you find that black metal plate? Honorable Qing Fu Ko asked curiously. Back then, Mountain Traveler also said that if a non-human race managed to steal the black metal plate without anyone noticing, we would only send them to the ice prison if we caught them. Zi Xue smiled. Quick, tell me, how did you discover it? Asked Qing Fu Ko. Zi Xue smiled and said, didn't that Mosha clan member escape with the black metal plate? He teleported again and again? He teleported halfway and secretly placed the world ring that was disguised as a rock on a floating mountain. Then I noticed it. I also noticed that a non-human race member had taken the rock. Then I followed that non-human race member and finally found that human. After observing for a long time, I confirmed that the human was very likely the mastermind. Only then did I show myself. No. Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head. I was chasing after the Mosha clan member but you weren't. Moreover, that Mosha clan member teleported again and again, and placed the disguised world ring on the mountain in an instant. When I teleported to that mountain I didn't even realize it. How did you realize it? Also, how did you have the time to investigate? Honorable Qing Fu Ko smiled mysteriously. Speak, quickly speak. Honorable Qing Fu Ko was very curious. Very simple. Honorable Qing Fu Ko said proudly, I left a small imprint on the black metal plate. No matter where it is, I can sense it. You and I both have a keepsake. I sensed that you were constantly changing your position, but the black metal plate didn't move at all. Hence, I teleported there and hid myself. That's how I saw a non-human race member take the ring with the black metal plate. After that, I followed him. You know the result. You. Honorable Qing Fu Ko stared. You actually left an imprint. You left an imprint on the black metal plate. No. Honorable Qing Fu Ko smiled. I've always been curious. Who was the one who made Mountain Guest set up this trap? To train himself. Of course I wanted to see it with my own eyes. However, I was worried that we wouldn't even know if he really stole it. Just in case I did it. Mountain Guest didn't forbid us from doing this. Not to mention, Mountain Guest also wants that flesh and blood creature who stole the black metal plate to temper itself in the ice prison. Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head and sighed, feeling sad for LuoFeng. He could have stolen it, but because of Honorable Qing Fu Ko's curiosity, he failed. What an unlucky punk. I hope he doesn't die in the ice prison. Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head. Anyway, we can't interfere. Whether he lives or dies will depend on his luck. If he dies, it'll be him dying in the Mountain Guest training. It has nothing to do with us. Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head. Mountain Guest is a lone wolf in the vast universe. His temper is so bad that even the few huge powers don't want to mess with him. It's indeed true, his temper is really bad. Honorable Qing Fu Ko shook his head. The huge icy hell star was the lair of Venerable Qing Fu Ko. On the surface of this icy hell star, there was a towering cylindrical icicle that was more than 800 kilometers thick and tens of thousands of kilometers tall, piercing into the sky. 4 silhouettes rushed down from the sky. It was Tarasha and the other 2 absolute warriors who were escorting LuoFeng. The space around them was completely sealed. Obviously one of the warriors was maintaining the space seal, preventing this cunning human from teleporting away. What they didn't know was, without the Mosha clansman's help, the earth body really couldn't teleport. That's the ice prison? LuoFeng looked at the huge pillar of ice. A huge energy no weaker than a planet's emanated from it. Right, that's the ice prison. Tarasha escorted LuoFeng and said coldly, you sure are relaxed. About to be locked in the ice prison. I'm afraid you won't be able to come out for 1 trillion years. You might even live in fear and eventually die in there. You actually don't panic at all. Since I've already been caught, what's the point of panicking? LuoFeng smiled. His core had already been brought out of the Crowflower secret area by the golden horned beast. It was currently resting in a servant's god country. As long as he was summoned, it would be able to teleport to the god country and arrive at the Crowflower secret area. LuoFeng's gaze landed on the distant ice prison. The legend of the ice prison, it was also the biggest legend of the entire ice prison planet. Legend has it that although the 2 universe venerables of the ice prison star belt would kill the captured alien races, if they caught some extremely strong or special undying beings, they would be locked up in the ice prison. Over the long years, trillions of eras, who knew how many warriors had been locked in the ice prison? These warriors would naturally grow stronger in the ice prison. In addition, the 2 universe sovereigns had forced the imprisoned outsiders to kill each other. Killing, cultivating, and being trapped in the ice prison for countless years, this sort of pressure, had indeed caused the ice prison to go crazy. As long as I'm not in a desperate situation, there's no need to ask the Primal Chaos City Leader for help. Also, on my path to becoming an absolute warrior, I really don't want to ask the Primal Chaos City Leader even once. LuoFeng had this thought long ago. From his point of view, being forced to ask the Primal Chaos City Leader was a very shameful thing. If he had the ability, he would fight and resist by himself, growing step by step until he was on par with the Primal Chaos City Leader or even stronger. On this journey, he wouldn't ask the Primal Chaos City Leader even once. This was LuoFeng's request for himself. A strong warrior wouldn't give himself an excuse to retreat from the start. Tarasha and the other 2 escorted LuoFeng to the ice prison. Human. Beside, a blue nightmare bandit said with a sharp voice, your strength is not bad. However, the weakest imprisoned in the ice prison back then were Emperor-level undyings. Without this bit of strength, the leader wouldn't even bother to imprison these aliens in the ice prison. And over the long years, the life and death battles within, let me remind you, if you're afraid of the fear, you should just self-destruct. The darkness and madness within isn't something you can handle. I'm really looking forward to it. LuoFeng smiled. This is your tag. Tarasha casually tossed out a purple and green ice plate with numbers written on it in the common language of the demon race. LuoFeng received the tag. It represents my identity? LuoFeng was curious, thinking within, it felt a little like the prison tag on Earth. Go in. Tarasha fiercely pushed LuoFeng. LuoFeng was immediately pushed into the ice prison, immediately entering the 100 kilometers radius. Immediately. Rumble, a terrifying and strong swallowing energy enveloped LuoFeng, almost like he was in an endless whirlpool. LuoFeng was caught in the swallowing energy, immediately flapping his wings to resist. Don't resist. If you do, then you should know the consequences. Tarasha and the other two looked coldly at Luo Feng. Right? Luo Feng shook his head. This was the territory of two universe supremacies. Those two universe supremacies had teleported here. Then let's go take a look at the legendary ice prison. Luo Feng looked up at the source of the swallowing energy within the ice prison. There was already a pitch-black cave. That cave had many layers, almost like the leaves of a fan. Rumble. Luo Feng was fiercely swallowed within. Rumble, layer after layer of the fan closed, the huge ice pillar became smooth and perfect again without a trace. Since then, Luo Feng was locked within the ice prison. Enjoy it, human? Tarasha looked coldly at the ice pillar. Let's go, Tarasha. Let's go. Immediately the three became three beams of light and swiftly rushed into the sky.